Hey guys, James here from Replica Reviews again. Now this is a bit of a follow-up video for those of you that have seen the video we put up a few weeks ago now of the 100-yard shooting. And yeah, that was my first attempt ever firing at those ranges with a sub 12 foot-pound air rifle. And you know, rightly or wrongly, some people are saying, oh my god, I can do better than that with a Springer, and so on and so forth. You know, there's always the armchair experts. But we've come up to the range tonight to have a second try. I've got the Weihrauch behind me tonight rather than the FX. We thought we'd give the Wildcat a bit of a break. Obviously, I didn't want to ram that down your throats anymore than I had been. And you know, it's good to get the Weihrauch out. So we bought some of the shoot and seize targets as well. And we've put them down at 100 yards. We have, you know, cheating or whatever, we have sighted in quickly just to make sure that it's good to go. And the weather tonight is so much better. Now, one thing I did, you know, try and reiterate in the last video was, one, it was my first try. Two, the weather conditions were awful. And three, I didn't really know what I was doing. It was just a case of point shoot and hope that BRC was telling me the truth and not some, you know, some rubbish. And, you know, credit where credit's due. That app, if it's not on your phone and you're using a Hawk scope, is an absolute godsend. Just to have tucked in your pocket when you're hunting. So what we're going to do, again, last time we did 16 rounds. Well, because, you know, the magazine on this one is 14, so 14 seems a logical group to go for. So we're going to do 14 shot groupings at 100 yards. It's been range found, and you know, we're down at the clubs. It's all been marked out properly and whatnot. Obviously, we're not quite sure what direction the video is going to go. I'll give it a good try. Probably Paul, who sat down the other end of the bench, give it a try, and I'll try and do it on the scope cam as well, because obviously, a bit of a different dimension, isn't it? And everybody wants to see that what we're doing is legitimate, and we're not saying that we're doing one thing and doing something else. So we're going to put the targets down at 100 yards, and let's crack on with the fun bit. Okay guys, so that's the result of a couple of, well, basically just sighting in shots. As you can see, as and when the wind is kicked in, we do get in these distinct groups, but Paul's quite happy that he's grouping quite nicely in the centre now. You can see a couple of decent shots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another one of these targets out. You can see the shooting hut all the way down there. And I'm going to film Paul's effort through the scope cam, so you'll actually be able to see real time these pellets actually coming in. And hopefully you'll actually be able to see them dropping in, because when we're looking at it down the scope, you do actually see the rounds dropping in, which is quite smart. So as I say, I'm going to put another one of these out, and let's crack on for the fun bit. Okay guys, so this is Paul's attempt. As you can see, he's done a pretty good job here. We've got a bit of a gust that's coming up behind us, which is why it's pushing them a little bit high. But you can see most of his shots have kind of gone in roughly the right place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically patch over the target, put some patches on it, and I'm going to go back down and we're going to try a further, well, we'll try sort of 8 or 16 shots with the FX Wildcat, obviously with a smooth twist barrel. It might be a little bit different. And we're going to adjust and we're going to count the clicks out. So rather than using holdovers, we're going to use clicks and see if that makes life any easier. And yeah, let's see what we can achieve. This is probably quite a good time just for me to show you some of the joys of actually using these Birchwood KT shoot and see targets. You get these spots that come with the targets, and then once you fired off however many shots you want to fire, as long as you don't sort of take the mick, you can actually reset your targets. So essentially there, got a brand new target without changing the main backer. So you know, they're expensive for sort of plinking targets, but for this kind of stuff they're absolutely brilliant, and well worth a look if you haven't actually sort of seen them before. Alright guys, so those of you that may have just noticed, rather than using the FX, I've actually chosen to use the Weihrauch. Reason for that being on the BRC that I've got on my mobile, it's all set up for this rifle here. The scopes are all mounted at different heights, and you know, the gap between the actual sort of the planes as such and the barrel are all different with the FX. So it made more sense in our mind, rather than messing around with this too much, is just to use the Weihrauch. Now I've just put 14 shots on target, which you've just seen shoot. All of those have they've landed on target. Now what we have just discovered, there is a slight breeze. It's kind of going across at a diagonal, which is causing a little bit of havoc with the holdovers, because see, if there's wind behind it, it's pushing the pellets a little bit higher and lower, and they are just getting skewed off. So what we're going to do is I'll put another magazine of 14 rounds in. We're going to try again, but just go a fraction higher and just slightly off to the right hand side of the target, and see if obviously with the way that the pellets are dropping, whether that will kind of then put it into the centre. But in the famous words, there is only one way to find out. So, as I say, the rifle's loaded. Let's crack on with another 14 shots. We're way higher now. You can tell when that gust is changing. Okay, so that's basically it for the video today. Now, the main thing that we were kind of trying to do today was just to see if we could improve and whatnot on our previous attempts. Now, before, not all the targets had hit their mark and things like that, and the pellets were all over the place. Today, I am pleased. Paul did quite well with his grouping, and I've just put 28 shots on target, and they've all hit where I needed them to hit. So this is with unsorted ammunition as well, just 8.44 grain. Daystate Sovereign pellets, as I say, unsorted, unwashed, unlubricated, so on and so forth. So they're not prepared in any shape, way, you know, anything like that. And this was the final result. Now, on the face of it, I was just having a chat with Paul. It does look like quite a shocking grouping, but we've essentially got 3 groups here. As I said earlier, with the way that the wind was gusting and things like that, sometimes the pellets are getting pushed up. You can see we've got a group of them just kind of popped in here. Sometimes they're getting pushed down, and then the majority of them were just kind of hitting exactly where they should be. But obviously with the wind and my aim and the fact that we're not used to this, this is a new thing to us. You know, they were all in roughly the same place. But as I say, with a sub 12 foot-pound 177 air rifle with unsorted ammunition, you know, just generic out the box pellets, they are hitting their mark. Which takes me back to the point I was trying to make in the original video. And that is people that discredit FAC air rifles, but anywhere above 50 yards. Now, I know it's a bit of a taboo subject to talk about and people don't like getting involved in it, but if we can do this with a sub 12 foot-pound 177 air rifle, imagine what you can do with something that's pushing out 40 foot-pounds in 22, or even 80 foot-pound in 22 caliber. Even with a normal weight pellet, you're going to be pushing a lot of weight down range, which does 2 things. Increases your knockdown, but it also increases stability to a certain extent. So groupings like this won't happen. You know, you will be in proper what I would call hunting style groups. And it's one of those things. You see a lot of people on the forums going on about you can do this with that, you can do that with this. You can't do this with an air rifle. This is HMR territory. Whatever. Get out there, try it for yourselves. Obviously, we're trying it for ourselves with sub 12, and this is only for target practice. I would never dream of shooting anything at this range, obviously, because look at my aim. you know, I'd probably hit it in the arse or something. But more importantly, the energy's not there. The energy's there to punch paper, but it's not there to cause kind of lethal injury when hit in the correct place. And that's assuming I can hit in the correct place. So hopefully you've enjoyed seeing another video today, obviously out of the range. We bought the HW out. Obviously, I know we've used the FX, which is kind of looking at me very upset in the corner there. We've used it quite a lot, and I didn't want to keep going on about the FX. And obviously, you know, the other group that Paul did as well with his I think it's like 10-year-old HW Sporter. So like a testament to the fact that these guns last. You know, the Germans do things properly. But anyway, I'm waffling. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, obviously feel free to like, subscribe if you want to see any more of our videos. If you've got any questions, comments, or I probably regret saying this after the comments we got on the last video, but feel free to post them in the box below. And I will respond to them as honestly and openly as I can. Hopefully they're positive. If not, I will sulk. But anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.